Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to my pre-market analysis and strategy session. I'm here every morning at 8:30 a.m. Let's talk about what we did yesterday morning. And I was talking about one stock being DraftKings. So I left that up for everybody to read. My strategy today, and I put this at 9:18 yesterday morning, was to wait at least 10:30 a.m. Then I was going to look at the market net flows and see which direction, if it was a buy the dip, if it was a hesitation, if it was a consolidation and selling more. So that was my strategy. However, if you caught the live stream, and it's right here, pre-market, I said I'd be very happy with entry into DraftKings around $28.50. Again, it was trading at $29.36 yesterday pre-market. I'm looking for the way down. Here it is, $29.39. It was off a little pre-market. I got my entry at $28.50, okay? So again, I put it on my watch list. DraftKings calls, Affirm, DraftKings, Palantir. These $57 Palantir options went up to like $85, $90. I had Baba calls. I won't have those anymore. I thought about a Microsoft put, but I was early. I was looking at this DraftKings call, okay? Again, I was waiting for it to go down. Then added two more to my watch list, some puts on the SPY as the SPY was getting stronger. DraftKings put in for 6 at 51. Okay, put in for SPY put. Then I saw the SPY put go down to $1.80, and I said, okay, man, this could be a perfect time for entry right here. It went from $1.80 up to $2.15. Again, this is why we don't jump in early. The market was strong yesterday. You get into SPY puts, man, you got hurt here, here, and here. You have to wait for the bottom, and it even went lower later in the day, okay? SPY was 447.13. Again, I got involved with some DraftKings calls, right? 28.62. I was looking for 28.50. So again, I was a little early, okay? I bought one at $90. Then I ended up averaging down to $86. They went as low as $85. I bought four more at 86. Here you go. Where were you looking at? Okay. SPY put. Here we go. Again, I was showing you low of the day. Why? Because this thing would probably go back up, which it did. So I put a video explaining my position. Again, when you look at the charts, here's the SPY put I was looking at, right? Looks to be on the low 83. Who would be crazy enough to buy a SPY put? 447.49. Well, this SPY put was showing a range. If you look at the past week, anytime it dropped to the 83 cents, which is right about here, it spiked back up. So I was looking for any type of spike, and I got it. I got that spike all the way up to what? $1. $1. There's the spike to $1. It went as high as $1.17. So again, if I held a little longer, the reason I didn't hold longer is I had something to do yesterday. Here it was $1.17. The DraftKings puts are still going up $1.10. I think they went up to like $1.19. Again, so the two positions. I mean, I was stupid enough to get in DraftKings here, and I sold here because I was worried about the market. These things went up to $1.17, $1.19. I had 9 contracts for a small account. We're talking about $360, a 35% of my account I left on the table. Remember, I started the challenge last week, and Monday, I didn't trade Monday, $500. My goal last week was $750 by Friday. I had $750 by Wednesday, by my second trade of the week, $1,000 by Friday. So yesterday, I was actually down $20. I said it was one of the worst trading days because I had DraftKings. I called it at $28.50. I sold it too soon because I thought the Qs were going to fall. I zoomed in rather than zooming out. Rather than assuming the market would buy the dip, I was like, oh, shit, the market could actually tank. So, all right, we'll get more into that in a little bit. I'm going to talk about different SPY ranges. If you have any stocks you want me to look up, please ask. I know someone already asked about Tesla. Tuesday, my trading today will be limited. First off, I should like that because it's important. My trading today is going to be limited. Why? My girls are going back to school on Thursday. So this is 2 remaining days. So time with family versus trading. I will be trading, but this is how it's going to help me. I'm going to be even more patient today. Why? Because I'm not eagerly or over aggressive to trade. Let's remember, most important thing in trading is patience. I showed you the example with DraftKings. I was looking for $28.50. The low yesterday was $28.44. So anybody that watched pre-market and got in $28.50 and showed patience and waited, you're still positive. Even though DraftKings is probably at like $29 pre-market, probably down 30 cents, you're still up 50 cents from when you entered. Okay, good morning, everybody. Hit that like button. I do this shit every morning. If you like what I do and you get value out of it, not only join me tomorrow, share the link. More people are joining every day. Again, YouTube is free. If you want to join Discord, I'll show you what I do on Discord. All right, so let's look at let's look at Discord. Well, let's wait on Discord right now. Let's talk about some news stories that happened. So the Chinese government, number one, is planning to cut its stamp duty to revive its slumping stock market. So what is that doing? It's like stimulus. It's basically saying it's going to reduce taxes, right? It's giving more money to the individual to invest, thus propping up the Chinese economy. Now, understand the last time they did this, I think it was 2008. So we're talking about 15, 16 years ago. And it took a number of months before China entered their bull market rally. So the last time China did this, 2008, it did work, but it took about 6 months. So anybody that's telling you, oh yeah, I'm going to get into BABA, PDD, I'm getting back into NEO today. Yeah, did you hear what China is doing? Bullshit. You have a number of months to wait. Just like the report about Michael Burry, right? The big short. He shorted the market with billions of dollars, 97% of his portfolio. When you break it down, the nominal value of him shorting the market is probably somewhere between 30 and 40 million. Yes, he took those positions, but those positions are levered. So what he actually invested is probably about 30 or 40 million. I posted on Discord Warren Buffett's updated portfolio. Understand Warren Buffett, right? Berkshire Hathaway, 51% of all of his holdings are in Apple. Holy shit. If Apple ever does fall, it's going to be a mighty fall. If Warren Buffett ever decides to sell his position in Apple. Okay, next. Bank of America, 8%. American Express, 7.5%. Coca-Cola, 6.9%. Chevron, Occidental, Heinz Kraft, Moody's, HP, everything else, 10%. Interesting. I spoke about the Burry's position. Okay, now this is pretty wild. I got this from Spot Gamma yesterday. Pretty wild. Okay, it's showing us the purple, which is the option flow for all options in the market. And then the light blue flow is the options for just 0 days till expiration. And what he's telling us is basically the amount of 0 days till expiration options really controlled the market yesterday. So when we talk about pump, dump, manipulation, no manipulation, understand yesterday's volume on the SPY was so freaking low at 47.5 million. End of day, we saw the end of day pump. So I'm not a believer in that. Again, I was in SPY puts. I profited 17% in SPY puts yesterday, even though the market was pumping. Okay, let's remember a couple of days ago when the market was going down, I had 4 call contracts in random stocks, and I was green that day, even though the market was pumping lower. So again, it's a stock pickers market. You have to be very specific about what stocks you're looking at. That's why I'm asking you all. Tell me what stocks you want me to look at today, and we'll look at the net flows. I mentioned DraftKings. I mentioned those SPY puts. Now, here's what the SPY puts look like. So anybody that likes to follow charts, okay? So here are the SPY puts. If I showed you this chart for anything, you'd say, oh, W pattern, it's going to bounce back. Well, great. These were SPY puts. Where's the SPY puts going to be today? Back up here. So anytime you give yourself time, now these options expire today. What else do I have? Here's the investment account. Ended yesterday at 1073. Remember, I had 500. Then it turned into 1,000, like 15 end of week. Again, I made about $50 yesterday. That was fine for me. Let me just see. SPY puts, right? I posted all this stuff. Showed you guys, right? Just seeing if there's anything else interesting. Again, as the SPY puts were going down, here's what they look like. And again, this morning, they're going to be back up here, okay? But you will understand the chart. When I showed you the 5-day chart on the SPY puts, man, they went as much as $2. So again, we were down there. What we're going to do this morning, back up here. Again, you could use charts on options like that to help you get. Now, again, I wouldn't be holding SPY puts all day. Let me just see what we got here. Anything else? SPY puts. Okay. Great. So let's get into the flows and algos. Let's see what I want to get. Okay, let's get some questions and comments here. Good morning. Yeah, hit that like button. Okay, we've got NVIDIA, Apple, NVIDIA. You left so much on the table. If you had a NVIDIA call, I would never get out of a NVIDIA call when the market has a chance to pump. The only thing that looked strong yesterday was NVIDIA. With that said, before we do the dark pools on the SPY, Palantir, pump from NVIDIA. No, it would have happened if if you're looking for a Palantir sympathy pump, it would have happened at the same time NVIDIA was pumping. You would have seen Palantir pump as well. Understand, NVIDIA, number one in class. NVIDIA has earnings next week. Let's remember what happened last NVIDIA earnings. They basically forecasted out amazing forecast, amazing back order of sales, amazing pipeline, and the stock shot up ridiculously high. So people are expecting the same from NVIDIA. The fact that it was at $406, found some support at 406. People are calling it $500, $550. So again, if they come out with the same type of earnings they did last time and they basically astound people, yeah, you're going to see NVIDIA pump to 500. Now, with that said, you want to look at Palantir. Let's take a look at Palantir. How are we going to do that? Okay, let's pull up Discord. Now, I'm not going to my trading room. What I like to do on Discord is you can go to the flows. Here's the how-to flows. So you can see, oh shit, I've never done how-to before. Option flow commands, TR, big flow symbol. You can use whatever you're looking for. So somebody mentioned Palantir. So what would I first do for Palantir? TR, I'm going to look at the net flow for Palantir, and I'm going to go out 3 days. Then the second thing is I'm going to look at the flow sum for Palantir, and I'll explain what each of these things are. And there's no flow sum. Then I'm going to look at the dark pool levels for Palantir. Okay. Now, Palantir was an option that I had on my watch list yesterday morning. The option I was watching went from a low of 44, okay, on the day to a high of like 89, 100% up. So understand, in my opinion, if I got into Palantir right now, I would be chasing a little. Okay, that's just me. Okay, so we got Palantir up there. So the first thing I brought up was the net flow. So I'm looking at the net flow. Now let's process this together. What the hell does all this shit mean, Matt? Well, the white is the stock price. Do you all see the white? Stock price up here, dipped, back, dipped, recovered. Yeah, it looks good. But let's understand, it looked good right here too. And then it topped out here. It looked good. It was recovering here. It topped out here. It looked like shit right here. What did it do? It recovered. Looked like shit. It recovered. So don't always go like, oh, this is the easiest chart to look at in the world. Now, what can we see? The green are net premiums for Palantir. Okay, they went under zero. Okay, they went above zero. They went above puts. They crossed back over. Again, indifferent. What could happen? They could cross back down. The stock could turn back down. Right here, it does look bullish. But again, you've seen a run from $15 to almost $16. Okay, so that was yesterday. Again, my entry was like close to 15. I would have been out at like 15. What was it? 70 something. I don't remember. But I was like, I can't believe I didn't get involved with this one. Same with Alibaba. Alibaba went all the way up to like almost 94. I wouldn't want to be in Baba right now. A bunch of whales exited Alibaba positions yesterday. But back to Palantir. So to me, it's too congested here. Now, when you see a drop like this for puts, what does that mean? The stock price is right here. What does it mean? Stock price is going higher. So 1542, yes, you could call that to 1580, that run, that yesterday morning run when I wanted to get involved. So yes, let's look at a net flow on a smaller basis. Here are dark pool levels. It goes about every 50 cents. So understand, to break through a level, you'd have to have pretty strong news. So for Palantir to go up 50 cents in a day, 3%, yeah, it could do that today. If you think today is going to be a buy the dip kind of mentality, then I'd look for a 3% move. If I look at the net flow just for Palantir, not going back 3 days, just yesterday, just seeing how it ended, what are we seeing? Yeah, puts are still down here. Calls, we had a bit of a call spike here, a bit of a run. Then they took profit, sold it out. So I'm going to watch to see what happens. If I see calls spike, then yes, the price might spike. If I see puts come back up, what's likely to happen? The white line, the price is likely to drop. Okay, so what other stocks? Good morning. AI, best in class. Yeah, that's what it is. So when institutions invest in a stock, and again, a lot of institutions, a lot of hedge funds, they have to go long. Holding companies, they have to hold something. They can't go short something. So they're going to look for best in class, which is why you've seen the big seven. You've seen NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Apple. They've all accelerated because when you're a holding company, an institution, a hedge fund, I'm going to invest. I just showed you or told you earlier, Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett, of all of his assets, his billions, trillions of dollars assets, 51% is in Apple stock. 51% of Warren Buffett's entire portfolio is in Apple stock. So when I tell you that institutions, they look for best in class. All right, so that was Palantir. Do I think they'll get a pump? No, they would have got a pump yesterday. Will they get a pump if you see NVIDIA after earnings go to $500, then yes, Palantir will be at $20 a share, $21 a share, something like that. That's where it can get a pump off of earnings, not off of leading into earnings, because we're not leading into Palantir's earnings. We're leading into NVIDIA's earnings. Can we check out the dark pool on the SPY? Of course, this is what I do every morning. I look at the dark pool levels for the SPY, and specifically, I actually want to look at the dark pool levels for the Qs, even though you didn't mention that, and I'll explain why. Okay, first we're looking at dark pool levels of the SPY. What do we see? From 450 and 60 cents, so it's about $1.60 each range. 452.21, 453.81, $1.60 exactly. So hopefully you guys understand that there are ranges of support and resistance. So when you're watching the market, you're like, oh, it's going to break 4 points north. No, it's got to go $1.60 at a time. So even if we're going to have an extreme bullish day, you're going to see it go, 444 to 445.80. Then it'll pull back a little. Then it'll go to each $1.60. So again, that's interesting. But why do I want to look at the Qs? Because the Qs, which finally had, I think, inflow yesterday, had 9 out of 10 outflow days or down days. So the Qs or big tech is struggling. So let's look at the SPY first. Again, SPY, where we closed at 448, where we're at right now, 445. Let's talk about, before we look at the dark levels, write these levels down. Friday's low of day on the SPY, 443.60. Why is that important? Because we had support on Friday at 443.60. Yesterday's low of the day was 444.30, so a whole 80 cents higher, okay? So those are two key levels. Yes, futures are getting ripped. We did touch under 445. This morning, I saw support pre-market at 445. So when I'm looking at three levels today, whether I'm bullish or bearish, I'm just watching again. The first hour of the day, up, down, whatever it is. I want to see if it goes down, I want to look at 445. If 445 is not showing support, I'm looking at 444.60, yesterday's low, right? It breaks through there. You see 444.20. Then we're going to see Friday's low, 443.60, okay? And if we go under that, again, we'll look at the dark pool levels. I'm not saying 100% it's going to happen because what do they love to do? They love to buy the dip. So again, let's go down to dark pool levels. Let's see where we are right here. 445.79. So there's a ghost zone right here, 444.18. So the fact that we found support at 445, I'm really looking at 445.80. Okay. If we break past there, then we're going to see, before we got that bounce yesterday from the SPY to 448, we really struggled with just over 447. So it's 447.40. So these are key levels, $447.40. Why? Because I would expect that to reject. Even if we get bought up, I would expect that to reject. 445.80, key level, that could turn into support or resistance. If it turns into resistance, and this is a ghost zone right here, then I got to go $1.60 lower, which is 442.50. All right. So again, I'm going to give you your bear case scenario. Okay. Your bear case scenario today on the SPY is we're going down to 442.50. Again, there has to be some strong selling. We finished at 448 on light volume, right? We're starting today at 445.50. If today is a bear day, then we're still going to see 3 points lower from where we are now. Okay. Now your bull case scenario is they're going to buy the dip. Low volume, strong volume, doesn't matter. Buying the dip, bear case scenario, and they're going to buy the market from open. So we're going to 445.54. They're going to buy the market straight up to 447.49, whatever that dark pool levels that I just mentioned. Again, if they buy it up on open, you're going to see a run directly to this first dark pool level, okay? They're buying it up on open. We're at 445.79. Boom, 447.40 right here, okay? And it will reject right here. If it breaks through, 449 is the next level, then 450 is psychological level. Again, it would have to be extreme bull case scenario. Me, I haven't made up my mind today. You want to be a bull or bear? I really don't give a shit. Let's talk about my recent trades, right? Alibaba last week, I had it going into earnings 3 days because I thought we'd run up to earnings. Great strategy, worked out. Then I went into PayPal. Why? The flows and algorithms were extremely bullish. As the market dipped, I got into PayPal. Great. Then I made 2 SPY trades. Wonderful. Yesterday morning pre-market, I spoke about DraftKings. It was $29. I said, no. Patience. Entry is going to be $28.50. As it's dropping, $28.63. I take my first position. First off, why didn't I wait? $28.50 I said was the entry point. It went down to $28.44. $28.50 was the entry point. Shot up to $29.39. So anyway, I'm here today to do shit like that. I'm going to tell you guys what I'm looking at top of my watch list today. Watch list, Upstart. I saw some calls coming across the tape yesterday. It's just on my watch list because let's remember, Upstart went from $62 to $32. Okay, so yeah, it's likely to bounce, but the market would have to strengthen itself. With Qs struggling 8 out of the last 10 days. Okay, it tells me be careful. The same way Nvidia is going up. If there was any pullback in chip stocks, I was looking at puts on Intel. Again, I saw some puts come across the tape. They were selling the high of $37. Well, shit, we're almost back there. We're $35.68. If they're going to sell $37, then that's a great entry. Again, patience. So the high on Intel, well, yesterday was $35.71. I would have to go back 5 days. Yeah, $35.71. I would like to see Intel go down. Again, if I'm going to make that play, I'm not getting invested in anything right now. U.S. dollar. I'm watching the U.S. dollar. Why? Because I mentioned that yesterday as we were spiking yesterday morning. Would put bearish pressure. What happens? It spiked up and then it came down. So the U.S. dollar. After that, I've got BJs. Why? I saw some puts come across BJs. I don't trade BJs. So you know what? I'm going to get rid of BJs right here. Delete. DraftKings. All right, so let's go and let's just look at DraftKings. See if it's a play for today. Could it be the same play? Well, let's look at the flows and algos. So I'm going to do TR, net flow, B King, and we'll go 3 days. All right, DraftKings stock. What do I see? Well, 2.5 days ago, puts fell out of the face of the earth. When puts dropped down here, it told me the stock was likely to spike. Puts dropped, the stock was dropping, right? And here's your 3-day spike, right? So we're back up. I'm looking for 28.50. Well, shit, Matt, it doesn't even show got 28.50 yesterday. It did. That's why this entry here was so great. However, calls did not spike. I saw a whale buying stock. Calls should spike. They haven't spiked. So I'm not sure if I'd be ready to play this one again on the dip. Let's just look at the net flow for 1 day. And then let's look at the float. Damn, won't have it. TR, net flow, DKNG. I spelled it wrong? Of course I did. And then we'll do TR, flow sum, flow dumb. That's how I feel sometimes. D DraftKings. Yeah, there we go. All right, so what am I seeing? Okay, there's no flow sum. What am I seeing? Puts came down a little. Price went up. Calls are reversing a little, but they're still below this line right here, net premium of 0. So I wouldn't necessarily be buying the dip today. A lot of days it has worked. Yesterday it looked great going into that. Affirm, again, when we look at something like Affirm, right? So, sorry guys, let me get this off the screen real quick. So here's what I do. When I look at something like Affirm, I'm going back to here, inflow for the last 5 days. Inflow, it's consolidating at a lower level. Does it mean I want to get in an Affirm today? No. Where can I get in? Let me just look at the 5-day chart. We got a bottom yesterday at $14.58. So if I was going to look at Affirm, right, and pre-market, here's your bid-ask pre-market, right, 1467, 1496. If I'm looking at for entry on calls and I want to get bullish Affirm, I've got to see $14.60, 1458. I want to see yesterday's low. When I talk about patience and having the best fucking entry point, excuse my language, and I was looking for DraftKings yesterday when it was at $29 at $28.50 and it went to $28.44. I missed the bottom of the stock by 6 cents. So when I talk about you need to show patience, you suck at trading, okay? You suck at trading options, great. You look at yesterday's low, $14.58. It's closed at $15.13. You say to yourself, if I got in at $14.58, even though the market is looking pretty shitty this morning and the stock's back at $14.85, man, it's still 30 cents above my entry. And if I'm still confident about the position, I can hold it longer. So there's, again, Affirm, that would be your entry. Alibaba, I already mentioned, I want to stay away from. I saw some whales selling Alibaba. Energy tends to get bought up, XLE. I don't want to be a bull in that. Spotify was bullish. So here's an option. If I want to play something, I can go Spotify and wait for the dip on Spotify. So let's look and see if that makes sense. Okay, let's go to Discord again. Let's look at the net flow for Spotify. Net flow, spot, S-P-O-T. Let's go out 3 days, and then we'll look at the, okay, what do I see on Spotify? This is a great example, net flow. And this might be my trade today. All right, I went out 3 days, and then the net flow for 1 day, okay? So going out 3 days, what am I seeing? All right, price of Spotify, and yes, it moves fast. 136, 138.5, 137 back. Spotify tends to move a bunch during the day. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for entry. If I'm getting entry on Spotify, oh, shit, that's Spotify. Wrong stock. Sorry. Spotify actually looks decent, though. Since we're looking at Spotify, what do I notice here? Puts dropped off. So I'm actually going to look at Spotify real quick and just see where that one is this morning. Shit happens like that. All right, 5 days Spotify, 135 would be entry. It's 138 this morning. So let me show you Spotify. So this is the chart. Puts dropped off. So this is telling me Spotify actually looks like it's getting strong. Look at the 1 day net flow. Again, not going crazy, but puts are dropping off the face of the earth. Calls are staying relatively flat, so they're not really getting to that. Let's look at Shopify, the real one that I wanted to look at. TR, net flow. Let's look at Shop. We'll go back 3 days. Just see what we got here. Okay, Shopify. Again, 3 days. Now, what I don't like is they're actually selling the calls. Selling the calls. Stocks down here, they should be buying more calls. They are not. They're outflowing their calls, getting rid on that spike yesterday a little. Puts are still relatively low on that spike yesterday. No one's buying more puts. So, again, I'm looking for something where puts would have dropped down here and calls would have shot up here. If I saw calls up here, I would say, okay, wait for my entry right around here where the stock was yesterday. And then wait for it to go up to 57. Again, I'm not seeing that. So, again, bring up any stocks you guys watched. You mentioned NVIDIA, Apple. We really have time. Hit the like button if you like what I do. Appreciate that. Everybody's more than welcome to join me tomorrow morning, or I'm heading over to Discord right now. I show you guys platform. Let me just show you how to get to Discord if you want to. Again, we have a public section on Discord, a private section with institutional feeds, things like that. Here we go. SOC platform. Everybody's welcome to join. Again, we have a public version, and then we have the private version. The private version has institutional feeds. So whereas I'm showing you guys institutional feeds, oh my God, they're buying puts, calls. What do we use? We use the information from TradyTix. So we pay TradyTix money so we could put that information on our platform for you all to use. If you went directly to TradyTix, they're probably charging you $100 a month. We're $34.99 a month. So understand that we're already saving you. If you like institutional feeds, you like watching the flow of the market, boom, it makes sense rather than losing money on a trade. With that said, everybody's welcome to join me on Discord. Have a great day trading. Be safe. Stress